I'm excited for this video because we have some truly fresh insight and speculation type stuff for comic books. We're going to hop into it here in just a sec, but before we do, check out all these new items that were just added this morning to brycecomics.com. Something is killing the children, amazing Spider-Man keys, look at that, 2 copies of the first appearance of the Punisher, and a whole bunch more stuff coming soon to brycecomics.com. We also have this brand new clearance section, which I just upped the discount to 25% off. There's 175 products with 25% off. It automatically adds the discount when you add it to your cart, and you can combine it with the recently added stuff, and that'll get the 10% off, and the correct discount codes will apply there. Also, follow me over on Whatnot this Friday night. If you're watching this the week it comes out, we're going to have a slab show. $1 starts on tons of slabs, giveaways every 5 minutes, and a ton of fun over on Whatnot. And also, we have monthly giveaways here on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, comment, and like, you're entered to win 2 free slabs this month. And if you sign up for the newsletter while you're at brycecomics.com, you're entered to win 2 free slabs this month over there as well. There's also a $15 discount code down in the description. If you're new to Whatnot, you can get $15 for using my links. So for this video, I went over to ChatGPT and was just playing around with it for a couple hours, trying to pick its brain about what it thinks about the comic book market. And man, they're just flooded with all of these ideas. It's like talking to the smartest person in the room. It's a really weird experience working with AI. And I also, just recently tried to use this to utilize it in my business, and it's just not quite ready yet, but it will be soon. There will be a way where I can just upload pictures to ChatGPT and it automatically uploads them to the website. And eventually, I think really good pricing tools are going to come out of it, but it's not quite ready yet. Like the steps and everything that I had to take, it was just a little bit faster to do it myself. Like there is a way to have ChatGPT put the listings on my site, but it just takes a little bit longer than doing it myself. Eventually it will be, even more powerful than it is now, but I think it's just, in its infancy stages. And one of the things that I was going back and forth with ChatGPT about was what's hot and what's not, in the comic book market. And its idea right here about what's hot in the comic book market for May of 2025 is DC Absolute lines dominate, and then followed by Marvel's Ultimate Universe revival. All the Ultimate titles are really hot. Crossover events and one-shots it thinks is hot, like One World Under Doom #2. And children's comics are surging with stuff like Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Bunny vs. Monkey, which is really interesting. And then it says what's cooling off is there's a decline in silver to copper age back issues, with silver age values down nearly 5%, bronze age down 6%, and copper down 7%. Of course, it just depends on what time frames you're looking at there. And it says that certain series are experiencing declining sales, leading to concerns about their longevity in the market and overproduction of variants. It says that the market is saturated with multiple variant covers, leading to collector fatigue and diminishing returns on these editions. One thing that's interesting about this, about what's hot and what's not, is just because Absolute and Ultimate is leading the hot charts right now, that doesn't mean you should be buying it right now. And just because copper, silver, and bronze is cooling off right now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be buying it right now. In fact, I would venture to say, if there was a place where I could bet money on this, that the Ultimate and Absolute series will absolutely and ultimately go down in price. And if you wait long enough, the silver, copper, and bronze will absolutely and ultimately go up in price. If we're looking at, like a 10-year time frame, I think today copper, silver, and bronze would be a much better investment, even though it's cooling off, than Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Series stuff and Absolute Batman. Now, that's not to say that some of these Absolutes and Ultimate stuffs will have long-term potential. I guarantee it, 10, 20 years from now, I think Ultimate Spider-Man #1, for whatever reason, is going to be awesome. And one of the reasons that I think about that, and worth more 10 years down the road, is that I recently got an Ultimate Spider-Man #1 gold foil Whatnot edition from those Whatnot packs, and I was stoked to have it graded. I came through in a collection and I was like, oh man, I like this. And just my reaction to that is like, if I like it, with as many comics that I see of modern stuff like that, if I want to keep it, that means that, you know, the collector sentiment, and I've seen it on Whatnot and all sales platforms and stuff, the collector sentiment is Ultimate Spider-Man #1 has gained a place as a key issue, even though it's just a good story, you know. So that's really exciting, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be paying attention to them. But over here, we're looking at this one, and particularly what this video is about is top 5 undervalued comics to watch in 2025. And it starts with their #1 recommendation here for top undervalued comics to watch in 2025 is X-Men Deadly Genesis #1. X-Men Deadly Genesis #1, like that's the hot comic to watch. And you come over here, and what's got me excited about this is X-Men Deadly Genesis #1. It's the first appearance of Vulcan, the brother of Cyclops and Havoc. And you click on this. I have never seen this book come through in a 9.8. It's a zombified version of Giant Size X-Men #1. This is the cover A. This book is awesome. I've never seen this come through. I'm shocked that I've never seen this book come through with as many thousands of slabs that I see, and it's a modern book from 2006. Now, what I have seen come through is this, the variant, and the 1 in 20 variant. I believe it's a 1 in 20 by Joe Quesada. And this one, I was shocked, recently came through in a 9.8, and I was shocked at how cheap it was, because I remember it being a much more expensive book. But if we come over to GPA and look at the 9.8 cover A is the book to have. It's outperforming that Quesada variant. And I was very surprised about that. The last sale was $150, and sales are all over the place for this book. I mean, it is shocking what this book does, and it's because there's not a ton of them out there, and it's not on a lot of people's radar. Last sale $150, 90-day average $107, and then the variant edition for Quesada, the last sale was $80. $80, way less, almost half the price of cover A. And I think it's just weird numbers right now. But if we look at this year over year, look, 2025 for cover A, there's a low of 40, a high of 150. Low of 27 last year, high of 200. Low of 31, high of 145. Every year going back, except 2020 had a strong year, there's just these super low and super high outliers. So that means that it's not on a lot of people's radar, and you can probably find a good price for it at auction. Oh, good Lord, look at this. They used this ad with Charlize Theron on the back. Who's excited for the next installment of The Old Guard? I certainly am. I'm just going to pretend she looks like this forever, for the eternity of time. 20 to 30 years ago, Charlize Theron. Oh, my God. Anyways, we come over to CGC Census, the 9.8 cover A for X-Men Deadly Genesis. There's 195 copies. So actually, there is quite a few out there compared to 290 total. But there are, you know, I would venture to say thousands upon thousands of raw copies of this out there. There just hasn't been the rush to grade yet. So now would be the time to get this graded. You don't want to be in the camp that's rushing to grade. If this spec does hit, if Vulcan does hit, you know, you want to have it already graded and ready to go if you're, you know, looking to speculate and flip. Or also, if you're just looking to collect it, now would be the time to find it raw, grade it yourself, and keep it in your collection if this spec does pay off and if there is a rush to grade and prices go through the roof. Next up, it has Action Comics number 521. Why it's undervalued features the first appearance of Vixen, DC's first African-American female superhero. The market insight here is, as diversity becomes a focal point in the media, characters like Vixen are gaining traction, making this issue a potential sleeper hit. That's absolutely true. Diversity becomes a focal point. So this is what the book looks like. It's the first appearance of Vixen right here on the cover. She's got this crazy phallic looking thing on her neck pointing right at Superman. I've always laughed when I've seen this book. I see it come through all the time, but I think I see it come through in low grade. I was very surprised to find out that a 9.8 copy of this book sells for over $500 consistently. And what's even crazier about this is when you look at the graph, there's been no market correction for this book. And the reason for that in a 9.8 is that there are very few. There's only 38 total 9.8s on the CGC census for this book. book compared to 395 total on the census. Again, this is another example of a book where there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of raw copies out there. It's not a rare book by any means. It just hasn't been a hot enough book to get people to grade it, because if you come down to the lower grades, like the 9.2 even has an average of $75 over here, so it's really not worth grading in the 9.2 and below range. But I think in the 9.6 and above, especially if you can pull that 9.8, it's absolutely worth grading and holding. If this spec hits in the DCEU with, diversity being a big thing in everything right now with comics, movie, media, this spec absolutely could hit, and you would want to be in the camp that already has it graded instead of being, rushing to grade and buying at elevated prices. Next on the list, we have Amazing Spider-Man 194, Why It's Undervalued. It introduces Black Cat and Felicia Hardy, a character with enduring popularity. Absolutely, Black Cat is not going anywhere. She is only going to grow in popularity, and the market insight that ChatGPT has here is, while this issue has seen price increases in the past, it still holds potential, especially with ongoing speculation about her appearance in future Spider-Man projects. And it's absolutely true. This book has seen a huge spike, especially during the COVID boom, and a massive correction as well. It's not a book that, and there's also, a plethora of copies available at any given time in the market. There's tons of copies on the CGC census, and there's also tons of raw copies out there. I mean, this is not a rare book by any means. It's not a book that I think is going to be, see like a double up in price or even a, 30% increase in price. I think if she, has a huge role on screen and nails it, I mean, it might go up like 20%, in my opinion, in today's market conditions. But so this isn't a book to like buy to flip. It's a great book to buy now if you're a collector and you love the character, or if you're an investor that wants to see something that's going to be worth more in 10 years. I think this would be a great option for that, especially at today's prices. Next, it has Marvel Spotlight 32, Why It's Undervalued. It's the first appearance of Spider-Woman and Jessica Drew. The market insight is, with rumors of Spider-Woman joining the MCU, right now she's in Sony Universe, right? This issue could see significant appreciation. And I absolutely agree with that. I think that I'm always shocked at the price of this book when it comes in a 9.8, around $1,100, $1,200 today, because I remember getting a 9.6 of it, like, in 2020 and cracking, pressing, resubmitting it like 4 times till I finally got the 9.8, and it was like a $3,000 or $4,000 book back then. And so I have price memory of this book being worth $3,000 or $4,000, and I tried so hard to get that 9.8, and finally did. So when I see it at $1,100, $1,200, I think, man, that is a crazy price for this book. So here's the 9.8. The last sale is $1,225, 90-day average $1,184, and this is a book that's worth grading, I would say, all the way down to about a 9.4. Anything below a 9.4, it gets to be like $100, $125 book, and it's not necessarily worth, all of the cost of grading, depending on, what's worth it to you. Certainly in the 9.6 and 9.8, it's worth getting graded, and also looking for that bump potential, because if you can bump it from a 9.6 to 9.8, like I did 5 years ago, there's a massive increase in value. So it's not an easy book to bump. It's, this 1977, the paper quality's bad, there's lots of black, but there are opportunities out there. I did it myself one time. So again, not a book that I think is going to double in price overnight, even if she goes to the MCU and she has this smashing debut, but I do think it's a great investment if you're looking for something that's going to have slow, steady, long-term potential. Last on the list, we have Detective Comics number 471. Why It's Undervalued. It features the first appearance of Dr. Hugo Strange in the Bronze Age. Market insight. As Batman's rogues gallery continues to be explored in various media, characters like Hugo Strange may gain more prominence. Okay, I'm in. Batman's rogue gallery gaining. This could hit. Like, I was surprised to see this on the list. And if you come over here and look at that awesome cover. Look at Batman on the trade dress here. I mean, this is a really cool cover. It's a 1977 book for the first appearance of Hugo Strange in the modern age. If we come over and look at GP analysis for prices of 9.8. And again, another crazy graph that didn't see a ton of correction. $410 for a 9.8. If we come over and look at the CGC census, it falls in line with that other book where there's only 32 copies on the census. So this is the exact same thing. Another one where there are thousands upon thousands of copies of this out there, but there's only 244 in the census. There's not a ton of interest in this book right now. So it's the perfect time to get this book graded and hold. You don't want to be part of that crowd that's in the rush to grade thing, and you don't want to be one of the collectors that's in the rush to buy when it's hot. So I was curious, what is the first appearance overall? And it's like first appearance of an origin of Hugo Strange is in Tech 36. So good luck buying this one. This is from 1940. This book won't even see a budge if there is Hugo Strange on the screen. This is an investment book because it's Tech 36. Okay, it's not going to even see an iota of increase if he's on the screen. This book will always be a mega grail because it's such an early appearance of Batman, and it's the first debut of the finned gloves on the interiors and this classic art. So just a book that's out of reach for most of us, so let's stop talking about it. So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you think is an absolute sleeper key right now? Leave a note down in the comments. All in all, I was very, very pleasantly surprised with, going back and forth with ChatGPT. I think it's a worthy endeavor for anything. You can find, it just sparks ideas, and I was happy to find these truly possible sleeper keys, or sleeper books here on this list. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It enters you to win 2 free slabs this month. And if you head over to brycecomics.com, we've got a ton of awesome inventory over there, tons of new collections coming soon. Don't forget to check out that clearance section. Just add it to the cart and the discount automatically applies. And I hope to hang out with you over on Whatnot this Friday and for the foreseeable future Fridays for $1 starts on slabs. Link down below for $15 toward your first purchase. Thanks as always for sticking with me to the end of the video. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.